Thank you very much. Thank you for having us and for inviting us for this event. In my talk, I will go through first a little bit about me and my experiences with drones, then a bit about Upteko and who we are as a company and what we're building. And then I'll comment on the challenges and opportunities we see having arisen here during the COVID-19, and then give some words on how to be prepared for the drone industry. But before I start my talk, please go ahead and show the video of our company. This is the video that we prepared together with one of our biggest customers, DFDS, who's also been our first supporter of the project. And we made a video with them about our project, so you can show that now.
My name is Mads Billesø. I'm project manager in the Innovation and Technology department in DFDS. In DFDS, we partner up with clever and innovative people from the world around us.
My name is Lægsgaard Jørgensen. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Upteko, and we're here today because we are working on a project with DFDS to support them with drones for operating their vessels. The drone we are building will be part of a system that lives on the ship, and it will be able to autonomously perform a variety of tasks for the crew, as well as autonomously recharge its batteries in between tasks. The first process we're optimizing is the docking procedure. With the click of a button, the captain will be able to position the drone over any corner of the ship. The drone streams a video back to the captain, which helps him dock the ship safely into harbor. There's also a thermographic camera on the drone, which is able to spot any risks around the ship. For instance, if there's a man overboard or a person in a kayak around the ship, we'll be able to see them. All in all, the drone helps make the docking procedure faster, safer, and more reliable. We got in contact with Mads Billesø and DFDS at a reverse Shark Tank, and we were happy to move things forward with the speed that we did. We're also happy to see that DFDS takes us an active part in driving innovation for maritime companies, and that we could be part of that. This is just the first process we want to optimize with our drone system, and we have many more tasks that we want to develop for it in our pipeline. When you have a drone that lives on a ship, it's only imagination that really limits the amount of things you can do with it.
Yes, so thank you for showing that. So that is the project that we're working on with DFDS, who has been one of our biggest supporters through the start of this company. The company was started in 2018. My background is that I'm an engineer with a master in innovation management. I worked in Siemens Wind Power, scouting for new technologies and startups. I was working in California, in Silicon Valley, when I first got my experiences with drones, and I saw all the potential that drone technology had and what drones could do within the wind industry. So when I returned to Denmark, I was looking for people to start a company with, and I met Sebastian and Benjamin, who were also looking for a new partner. And those two guys are some of the best drone pilots you have in the world. They've competed and won Danish championships, qualified for 5th place in the world championships. They know everything there is to know about drones. So together we decided to start a company up, Upteko, with the vision to radically improve the maritime sector through innovative drone technology. So drones, that is what we knew about. That is what our core expertise was within, and our expertise. And the maritime sector, offshore wind, shipping industry, that's where we saw a lot of possibilities to change things with drones and use drone systems to go in and solve challenges that you have. It's really interesting to look at that market and to see what kind of problems you can solve there. So the system we decided to building consists of 3 parts. Basically, we have the software. The software is how we analyze the video data, how we use AI and different algorithms to measure, for example, distances between ships and harbor, or to find people who's fallen overboard. But it's also the way we control the drone to fly autonomous routes, to fly in patterns that we define for the drone. Then we have the drone that we're developing. This is a drone that is custom built for the maritime environment. It means it can fly in extra harsh weather conditions, higher wind speeds, and in areas where you have, for example, salt water in the air, salt in the air. Then we're building a charging station. This is the station where the drone will be sitting when it's not being used. From the charging station, the drone is able to fly out and perform its tasks. But in the charging station, the drone is able to charge its batteries, and eventually with a robotic arm, like the one we just saw at Universal Robots, we'll be able to switch off payloads and batteries on the drone, and the drone will be able to basically land and then go out autonomously without a crew doing anything, and go out and perform a task for the crew on board a ship. The applications that we're working on today are these. We're working on a docking procedure, basically helping what will in the future be an autonomous ship that can dock itself from one harbor to another harbor without a crew, dock into harbor. Our system is used to film above the ship, film the area around the ship, and basically give input to the system about whether or not there are any obstacles or how close you are to dock, and if there's anything out of the ordinary that is coming up, like a smaller boat, for example, and then the ship is able to take the necessary actions from that. The second applications we're developing is the search and rescue application, where the drone is able to fly out and find a person in the surface of the water. Then we are working on a package delivery application to basically deliver packages to offshore wind turbines, where it costs a lot if you forget a tool or spare part and have to do multiple trips. So instead you can use the drone to deliver smaller packages. And we've just started working now also on the third application for oil spills, where we're working to map out larger oil spills in the area around Greenland, so that you can see how much an oil spill has spread and then take the necessary actions after that. And then of course we're also working on inspection solutions. So our system is not just meant for one application, it's meant for many applications. It's meant as a system that you buy and it drone become an extra crew member on the ship that basically help solve some of these different tasks. So where are we in our story? Well, we got momentum in 2018-19. We raised the first investment for the company. We started partnerships with the universities. Actually, we started with the Aarhus University, with Adele, who's also going to talk. We started with FDU and DIS and DTU. We then began development, and this year we will be installing our prototype at DFDS, and will then get ready for the commercialization phase, where we will start selling systems and pilot projects and basically scale the company. And yeah, that is basically where we're at now. So this is quite an interesting phase where we're going hopefully soon from startup to scale up for this company. So before this, I was also asked to prepare a few questions about what challenges and opportunities we have had during this COVID-19 times that we've been going through as a company. Some of the bigger challenges that we've had as a company, for sure, has been delays with customers. We've seen some big customers that we've been in talks with having to fire up to 1/3 of their employees. So that, of course, have caused some delays. Luckily, with that customer, we actually were able to close the deal later on, 6 months later, but it did cause some delays. We also had limited access to test sites, which has, of course, also been an issue. So those are some of the challenges that we've seen, basically harder to reach people and harder to close the deals, but we're still able to do it, and we have actually gotten the access to the test sites now. When you look at the opportunities it's created, on the other hand, I think one of the interesting things is that it has become much more commonplace for people to work remotely. Just this conference like the one we're doing right now is happening online, and everyone these days are doing online meetings. So working remotely has become much more popular, especially for white collar work, and it's definitely what I think we will see more of in the future, now that the culture is changing around that. And that's really interesting for a company like ours, because what we're building is basically drone systems to automate and perform tasks remotely. So basically doing blue collar work remotely with a drone system that can perform tasks, so you don't have to be at site using drones to autonomously go out and do different jobs. So for us, this whole mindset switch about that you actually don't have to be there as a person, but you can do jobs remotely, it's really interesting, and that's something that we think is changing also now that people kind of have been forced into this situation where everyone is working remotely. And what I would say, in order to get prepared for the robotics industry and understand that and the drone industry, is that there's a lot of things happening in this industry. We've seen it with Universal Robots and robotic arms over the last 15 years, what has happened there, and I think drones are the next wave that we will see coming up like this. This is basically also why we decided to create our business a little bit based off the same business model that Universal Robots have, right, of having a platform to do many applications, because we are in a market that will see exponential growth, where we'll see drones all of a sudden taking over many, many different applications. So we need a platform in the world like the one we're developing in Upteko that can solve many, many different jobs. So I think that's definitely one of the things, is that drones are reaching a point now where they're becoming able to solve a lot of problems that, if you go back 20, 30 years, was not even possible, but today it is. So we'll see a lot of new things happening. Things also changing on an EU level. Legalization is changing, so you're able to fly beyond visual line of sight. Autonomous flights, these kind of things are also being discussed on a higher EU level. So that's really, really interesting, I think. So yeah, that's what I want to say. Thank you very much. That's my presentation.